If you're a pure materialist and you don't perceive or believe in anything beyond the five senses, you might want to turn this video off right now. Hello, Kindred Longevity Lifestyle Designers. This is Accurate Secrets of Longevity.com coming at you with a little bit of a different video today, getting more into the less fact-based swing of things. And I was just thinking about this practice that I've begun to engage in more than I had in the past. And I've seen some very auspicious results in my life because of it. It's up to you to interpret what would happen in your own life and what you see happening to others who talk about engaging in these kinds of things. But I just wanted to share my ideas around this. And it's also reflective of what happens when you do internal work, how that transforms your external life, and what changes you can see, even from just beginning to meditate 10 minutes a day or do any other sort of internal practice, whether it's prayer, could be anything from any specific tradition. You're going to affect a change internally, and that affects a change externally. Sort of the as above, so below principle from Hermes Trismegistus or Thoth from the ancient Egyptian traditions. And he was sort of thought to be the original alchemist, or an alchemist who was able to transmute these lower base vibrations into more pure, balanced states of being. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to get too esoteric there. But the practice I'm talking about is making offerings. So this is something that you see in a lot of old traditions, a lot of shamanic traditions, but also in more sort of mainstream Christian and Hindu, and even other more current religious traditions. So the idea of offering is, if you think about it on the physical, it's like going over to a friend's house and bringing them a bottle of wine if you're going over there for dinner. It makes them feel like you care about them, and you're just sharing your gratitude for their friendship and their openness with you. And then you can also think of peace offerings between two warring nations, or two nations that were at war, and times went on and several generations down the road, and they recognize that they had this disagreement in the past, and they make amends through this type of offering, whether it's ceremonial in some way. But you see that happening, and it happens between people and between groups of people. And just the idea of it happening between people, you can translate to the spiritual world. It could be with a specific deity that you find particularly a strong association with it. And it's a way of bringing those qualities into your life that symbol represents. You could get really technical and talk about the unconscious and Carl Jung and how the symbolism plays out and isn't actually actual things taking place, and that's fine if that's what you need to do to feel okay to do this. Whatever way you look at it, you're basically associating with a specific quality and allowing that relationship to take place and fostering that relationship of friendliness and good-heartedness, I guess you could say. We'll get back to the main topic of this video in just one moment. If you're enjoying this content, perhaps you're a regular subscriber, perhaps you've found me in a YouTube search relating to the information I put out, I'd ask you to consider making some sort of financial contribution if you want to see me continually put out this well-researched, in-depth videos. Ways of doing that are in the drop-down menu below this video. You have to come to the actual YouTube video page if you're on a third-party site, and you can find links to different things I recommend you do. One of which could be purchasing through an affiliate of mine, companies I recommend that have great products, high-quality companies that I personally purchase from. Another way is to make a direct donation to me through PayPal. Another way, of course, is also to set up phone consultations, and you can find that at my main site, at the link below. So with that, I can definitely appreciate anything you're able to contribute to me, even if it's just your open heart and kind words. So with that, we'll get right back to the content, and thank you. So a lot of different traditions do different things. You see a lot of pagan traditions leaving offerings of food and drink at certain times of the year, usually the solstices and equinoxes, and even the in between those points as well. So that's the quarters of the year, but then there's the eighths of the year. Then of course incense is a very popular form of offering, burning incense, and just burning it is an offering in and of itself if you've set an intention, but if you get some sort of ritual going along with it, that you're sort of dedicating the offering with, it really enhances the focus that you have in making this an offering. So whether it's just to the earth in general or to some specific group of non-physical entities or one specific godly entity or whatever it is you're doing, it's a way of, again, sort of building that relationship and bond, which is difficult to put into words, but you can start to see interesting things occur in your life, depending on your own personal character as well as your devotion, as well as your strength of intention. Another thing you can always do is, if you are able to find this, is Palo Santo wood, which is a beautiful smelling wood from South America. And obviously you can't smell it here. It's just like incense, but it's burning wood. And it has a very amazing smell to me. And the first time I ever smelt it, it was really put me into an altered state, because it was like a smell I had been so familiar with, yet I had never smelt in this lifetime before. And Palo Santo just means holy wood. And it's a very rare wood there, so we don't want to be overusing it and over-consuming it, because they only take it from trees that have fallen naturally. They don't harvest it out of the forest there. So it is sustainable in that way, but there's a lot of other things you could do as well. Burning sage, that's more for cleansing, of course. But what I've noticed in my own life is just the almost like shift in the ease at which things can happen. So this has to do with the type of offerings I've been doing and the energies that I choose to associate with. And one could almost think that you almost have friends on the non-physical that are sort of helping you achieve what it is you want to be achieving, where it is you want to be going, and they really help you to grow. If you're uncomfortable thinking about things outside of yourself that are present there, that are non-physical, that's okay. You can think of it as that symbol idea. But again, it's about creating that support system, because as humans, we are very much a social creature. Humans that have the most powerfully strong social structures generally have the highest rates of longevity. You see it among all the apes, the greater apes. They're very much community-oriented. And there's definitely a side to ourselves that relates to the non-physical. This could be ancestors. There's a lot of traditions of ancestor worship. And again, they're making offerings to the ancestors, sort of bringing them into their lives. And you can almost think of how a parental figure or a grandparent or even an aunt or uncle is looking out for you in the physical. You can just imagine what great-great-great-great-grandfather or grandmother is doing for you if you're open and receptive to what they have to offer you. So there's a few things you want to keep in mind when sort of engaging in this. You want to just sort of do your own research online just to get an idea of what offerings are and how you can structure them into your life. You don't need to be doing them every day, but some people choose to. Some people have a set time every week, some people do it once a month, some people just do it on those holidays like I mentioned before, of the equinox and solstices, etc. And again, these are just ways of almost allowing a set time to occur when you're making friends and amends with the non-physical realms. And this helps foster and elicit spiritual growth. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video that is a little different from what I normally post. And let me know what you think about this type of video. I know I've done some spiritually based videos in the past, and I always want to keep doing them, but it's just not always at the forefront of my mind as to the type of topic I want to cover. But I guess I was just in the mood for it today. So click like and share the video, and subscribe if you haven't done that before. and I'll talk to you next time. Take care and embrace life without limits.